Hey guys, what's up? Good to finally see your faces. A physical design event. What a rarity, right? And thank you S1T2 for hosting. That guy in the back is the one that's generously hosted this place, and so make sure you give him a high five and in a COVID safe way, of course. Um, um, cool. So the theme of this event is called Borderless. I totally read the PDF brief, so this deck should definitely hit on that brief. Um, if you want to hit us up or explore some of the stuff I do, my handles are at the footer. But yeah, really, I just wanted to make this presentation kind of personal and just share my journey of yeah, how I started getting interested in design and art, and how that's kind of carried me through the industry and to find I finally founded my own design company. And I'll take you through that right now. So what do I do? First of all, my name is Jonathan Key. I founded a creative agency called Studio 3AM. I'm a creative director. I've got a background in branding, art direction, typography, and digital design. Um, the amazing, great person on the right. That's my older sister, and that's me on the left. Don't judge the cut. I was young. I'm just showing this photo because clearly we have different strengths and weaknesses. I have always been someone that likes to try. No matter what, whether I can do it or not, I'm going to give it a go. That's not always in the right order, or nor does it have the correct process. But I feel like this photo perfectly represents my journey thus far. And yeah, I said baby photos, right? So the why, quite similar to some of these guys who have talked. The reason I got into it was just like following, something that I really enjoyed. But that, for me, that was music. So over the past few years, and it was actually my dream. It was just to do album covers. I played guitar throughout high school, and no matter what, I always really wanted to be connected in some ways to music because music is so universally accepted and loved as an art form. I feel like it really connects all of us, even if you got nothing in common. It's just like, oh, you like the Beatles? I like the Beatles. You can kind of get along. So over the years, this is just some of the work I've created. And I've been really lucky to actually work with some of the people I really looked up to early in high school. Artists like Paul Dempsey, and then artists I admire that are a little more, present in the mainstream, like Madge or Vera Blue. So this is just some of the work I've done from varying years. If you look at the top, I've actually highlighted the years where I've been working on different things. And originally I was going to do a presentation taking you through the years chronologically in years of three, but then I realized that I'm so chaotic that there's no consistency in what I'm interested in. But the one thing that was consistent is my love for music. So even as I, focus more on a commercial client base and commercial work, music is something that's close to my heart, and I always want to keep it in my life. Coming out of high school and another great story I just want to quickly share is that before I kind of got into doing album covers in a more professional way, I was just kind of in high school and I would just like hit up bands on Triple J Unearthed or like MySpace, back when MySpace was a thing. And yeah, I really do believe that like, luck is a big part of like your direction in life, where it takes you. But I do think that you have to kind of put yourself out there and create your own luck. So I just wanted to put that in there as well, because that, you can't hang around and wait for the band to contact you. You have to put yourself out there. Really just go for it. Cool. So another thing that has kind of been, consistent chaotically throughout is side projects. And again, I have like a short attention span and there's no consistency with what I've become obsessed with. But I just wanted to take you through my journey. Coming out of high school, I was really into streetwear. Surprisingly, at the time, it really hadn't hit Australia in a big way. There were, some streetwear labels like Johnny Cupcakes and things like that that were really big overseas, but it hadn't hit Australia yet. So yeah, I really got into it. I learned screen printing. I learned how to set up shirts and how to sew. You know, I've forgotten that obviously. And yeah, so that was one of the things I got obsessed with. Another thing I got really obsessed with was the idea of animation. I was never great at photography, but you know, I love Disney films, I love Studio Ghibli films, so I really wanted to push myself and go in that direction. A few other things you would have seen there is like just experimenting with photography, playing with double exposures, and just dabbling a tiny bit in 3D. And again, these are the types of things where, you know, I just kind of followed what I wanted to do and really enjoyed doing it. This was one of the more fun things, side projects I did. These are some of my dearest friends to this day. I actually just had them over to a barbecue recently. But during uni, we decided that, like, hey, we're designers. We should do a light installation at Vivid, and of course they'll accept us. And which is absurd. Like, why would that happen? But surprisingly, they said yes, and they didn't just say yes. They said yes twice in a row. So we did two different Vivid installations. One was quite physical, and then the second was quite interactive, playing with projections and touch interactivity, and then we combined it with music. So depending on how you drew the line, it would create self-generated artwork, visuals and music, depending on how you drew that line. And that was a beautiful collaboration between the people at the event of Vivid and, you know, us, the artists who created the code. So yeah, basically I just want to say that, you know, I don't have any consistency. I just like to try lots of things, but for some reason it all has kind of come together in a magical way. A lot of these projects, as you can tell, are quite rough. They're not really polished in a way that might be commercially viable. It's clearly someone that, you know, took an interest in something and wanted to create something which is great, but, you know, it's not gonna be financially sustainable. Which is where it takes me to my first job coming out of uni. I was really lucky. I've heard some horror stories of people coming out of uni, you know, and not loving what they do, but when I got my first design job, it was actually everything I imagined it could be. It was just me and my boss, Mark Stott. He's, you know, a great design legend. He was part of Designers Republic in the UK. If you played games like Wipeout or things like that, they were a big part of that. And if, you know, Australia, if you remember Big Pond, he created the logo for that. And he kind of took me under his wing and mentored me. And for 3 fantastic years, I worked at Common Design, and I really refined my skills and, you know, my typography. And, you know, it's quite a humbling experience because, you know, you can see I had tried all these things and I was young and ambitious and, you know, I'm like, I can take on the world, I'm creative, I can do lots of things. And then I just realized, wow, I know nothing. I don't know how to set things up properly for prints, and I don't know how to communicate with a client. So yeah, that was my first job. And then this is why it doesn't really make complete sense, but I went directly from my first job into starting a studio. Now, the reason why I did this was because that starting a studio was meant to be something that I tried out. It was meant to be one of those experiments, like a light installation, like a fashion label, something like that. And, you know, honestly, it did start that way. It started off just doing freelance work by myself, but over the years, I just kind of really grew a liking to the process and this idea of a team and a unity that we could be creating bigger and better things by collaborating with other people. All of a sudden, it stopped being me, like, what am I creating, what am I doing? And then it started to become something a little more magical. It's just a little show reel of the past 3 years, just some of the work we've created. Some work I'm really proud of, managed there. Doing a branding project for a restaurant. Yeah, there's so many great memories and, you know, stories I could tell you about each of these projects. And yeah, I think it's like an amazing thing to have just followed your bliss and then kind of land up in an opportunity where you can kind of pursue it as your career. Now, this is a presentation, so I don't have enough time to tell you all the horror stories. And I'm definitely just giving you the best hits. I'm not including all the times I like stayed up till 3 AM, had a cry, you know, that we weren't making enough money and that I had made all the wrong decisions in life. But, you know, thankfully it's kind of magically worked out in a really great way. And that's where we come to the evolution. So you've kind of followed the journey so far from just someone coming out of, following the bliss, following the art path, getting a bit of professional help and starting a studio. The evolution is that the realization that this is more than just, it's more than just a business, in fact. It's like trying to create something with a legacy that I could be proud of in a few years and creating this culture that matters a little bit more to me. I'm just playing this prototype of a website that we're about to launch for the new studio, and yeah, we've grown from a team of 2 to a team of 5, and just basically under a year, and it's just been like a crazy experience going from a tiny little room smaller than a garage to having a 2-story studio, and working with some of my best friends every day. Is there a greater meaning to all of this? I think there is, actually. I feel as though if you are really passionate about what you do and you find the right people, then you can make magic happen. I think that, as the title suggests for this talk series, Borderless, you shouldn't confine yourself to just whatever you think a designer is, because, I would say before Apple, no one even knew what design really was, right? Design has only been mainstream for so long. And so I would just encourage all of you to also follow your bliss and, hopefully share in the magic and get to experience some of this. And maybe another time I'll share you all the horror stories. Thank you.